go to canva.com. It's free. You just need to put in your email. You can use your school email address. And then using one of these given modes of creativity, you're going to select the Instagram post. And it will show up as blank. Now, there are different templates and styles, but I would like for you guys to just use a style with a singular color background. Maybe choose one that you feel represents your personality. This is one of my favorite colors, and so I will be using this one. And go ahead and click Elements on the left-hand side and select a little person. Now, this is the person that I chose. Very basic, but it gets the job done, because in this assignment you're going to be using this person to demonstrate, or illustrate rather, different aspects of your personality. Now, the first idea of this assignment is to think about how many brain cells you have. Now, this is a little bit of a joke. I know we all have lots and lots of brain cells, but you know, the joke or the meme is that we don't exactly use all of them all the time. We only have a certain number that are working at once. So I would like to say I have a solid 43 brain cells that I am working with. And I'm going to move this, put it off to the side. I can format it later. But the idea is that if the different parts of our personalities, we can only allocate so many brain cells to them. So, for example, one of the things that I particularly enjoy doing is knitting. And so I would say that starting from the bottom and filling up my person in terms of percentages, I would say that 12% of me is dedicated to knitting, and 12% of 43 is 5.16. So that would mean I'm using 5.16 of my 43 brain cells to think about knitting or to enjoy this activity. Here is a finished example of one that I did for myself. We see I have categories for knitting at, I guess here I chose 8% using 3.44 brain cells, 27% for sewing and math and grading and drawing and teaching. And we have to keep in mind that all of the percentages eventually have to add up to 100% because they're going to fill up our entire person here. The arrows are dedicated to showing how far the percentages are filling up. So we see 8%, for example, that little boop is much smaller than the 27% that I have dedicated to teaching. To maybe make this a little bit more clear, I have a rubric included for this assignment. We can see that there are 42 points possible. The first 5 coming into play with the brain cell, personality, trait, and category. So you can get the full points here by choosing a number of brain cells that's between 15 and 75, choosing at least 5 personality traits or categories or hobbies or things that you do, and that each percentage is not a multiple of 5. You'll notice on my example that I do not have any percentages that are multiples of 5. That's because I know those percentages are easier to calculate and you guys can handle using harder numbers like 13%, 21%. The next 5 points are just the inclusion of the information on the respective arrows. So it would say the trait title, like mine was knitting. The percentage, in my example here, it was 13%, I believe. Or no, it was 8%. So we see at the very bottom I have knitting as the title, 8%, and 3.44 brain cells dedicated to it. So including all of those things will get you the 5 points for each of the arrows. 25 points is dedicated to just getting all the percentages correct and the number of brain cells correct. So based on the percentage you choose for each one, you need to have the appropriate number of brain cells calculated. 3 points just for showing that the placement of the arrows roughly matches the percentage allotted to each trait. So what I'm saying here is if you give a small portion of your personality to one thing, say maybe 6%, it wouldn't cover most of the person. It would only be a little bit. So just make sure that your arrows roughly match the amount of percentage that you are giving to each one. 2 points for being neat, organized, easy to read. Colors and fonts are easy to read. Like with this one, we had a good amount of contrast with the green and the white font. And then 2 points for having your name and the assignment title. Now, I do not have my name on this one because this is my example here, but I have my title that says my personality percentages. So all of these things would need to be present in order for you to get the full 42 points for this assignment. Please let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me an email. Do what you got to do.